But if it got bigger, then they'd have to sit in their elite circles and start brainstorming what to do.
They've got absolutely right. They've got a major problem. Major problem. This is literally we've all seen Star Wars, yeah, where Luke Skywalker is going after the Death Star and all the rest of it, and he's just going for that little exhaust port. This is the exhaust port to the Death Star.
Wow. The exhaust port of the Death Star that is globalist cabal that have been putting us under the cosh for the last few years, particularly. Well, that was Sovereign Pete there. I caught up with him in Ledbury on a speaking tour a few months ago in the UK. And it doesn't just apply to the UK. This is fascinating stuff about all the legal structures, from our birth certs to tax paying, to all the contracts we get locked into without even knowing the legality of them. So the corporate structures have trapped us for hundreds of years. I found this really fascinating. The link is down below to Sovereign Pete's site, something well worth getting educated on. So without further ado, here we go, Sovereign Pete and down the rabbit hole.
Hey guys, I'm here in Ledbury in the UK. I have 7 events to speak at in 5 days, so it's quite manic. But I met up yesterday with Sovereign Pete in my talk in the attic, and great to see you, Pete.
Yep, good to see you. Although it was very quick, wasn't it? Well, at the attic, it was, oh, how you doing? Shake hands, and then woof, it was quick in and out.
Well, that's it. I know you guys, you and Richard were having an event at 4, and I was 2 to 4, and then I had to run off up to Tisbury, I think. But it's all go. So here, I'll let you introduce yourself, Sovereign Pete, and kind of what you got going on, and then we'll have a quick chat. I know we're tight today on time, and go through some of the madness.
Absolutely, yes. Very quickly, I set up the Sovereign Project. There's a website called thesovereignproject.live, and I actually detail how the system actually works, because everyone's running around panicking, going, oh my God, all this is going on in the world. And I'm saying, whoa, 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 whoa. You know, it's all a bluff, don't you? Yes, I'm good. You do know it doesn't actually apply to you, don't you? You know, legislation doesn't apply to you. And I keep saying, trying to wake people up to this. You know, they're panicking over stuff. And I'm saying, don't you know it's all commerce? It's all corporations. It's all contracts. You know, tax is contractual, for example. You know, so I try and explain how the system actually works. And when you learn how it works, you will see the remedies and the solutions. And what I'm doing is I'm bringing together a team of people. We've got over 15,000 members now. And we're all working together to create the remedies that's going to make us free. So in a nutshell, that is what we do. Very quick, but I can go over a few little topics with you if you wish.
Right. No, that'd be great, Pete, because I've heard stuff about this, and I come across this kind of stuff about birth certs, and birth certs were brought in to contractually lock us into the state and enable taxation and all this kind of stuff. But if you in around 10 or 15 minutes could give your top 5 kind of facts or bullets around this, the most important ones, just to give people a taster of what might be possible.
Absolutely correct. Now, here's the thing is, birth certificate is a very complicated subject, goes on for at least 2,500 years. So I'm not really going to do it justice now. But the basics is that your birth certificate, the one that is issued to you, now remember, if something is issued to you, you don't own it. Someone else does. So they own it. They control it. All right. It's been issued to you. They control the birth certificate. On that birth certificate, that is not your name. Okay. So they'll trick you and they will put down forenames and surname. The surname means surety name. So that's a clue to what's going on. Your surety name. What does surety mean? Surety means that you've accepted the liability of the debt, of someone else's debt. Okay. So if someone else doesn't pay the debt, you are surety for it. So that's giving you a clue. Now, what's happened over time is that all governments today are corporations, no different than McDonald's, Burger King, that sort of stuff. So the UK is a corporation. We're all learning this now. We're learning about Dunn's numbers. Okay, so the council, the police. So a Dunn's number is a Dun and Bradstreet number. Okay, a Dun and Bradstreet number is given to all business corporations for credit reporting purposes. Okay, now it turns out that the police are actually privately owned. All right, they have no authority at all, zero. So they're privately owned. They have Dunn's numbers. The government, UK government, all governments are actually privately owned. They're just the same as McDonald's. They've all got DUNS numbers and all the rest of it. And some of them are actually registered on Companies House. Councils, privately owned. Again, no different than McDonald's. Yeah, this is all new. Most people don't know any of this. They don't know how it works. So you can't live in the UK. That's impossible because UK is a corporation, you see. A lot of people think you're living in the UK and I go, well, hang on a minute. If you think you're living in the UK, if I got my foot on the UK right now, have you heard of England? Tell me when my other foot is in England. And they go, what? Yeah, okay. Tell me when my other foot is in the British Isles. Oh, and they start panicking. They can't figure it out. And says, yeah, all those things I've just said are actually corporations. It's nothing to do with the land. Everyone is being pulled into a corporate jurisdiction. You've been tricked into it. DVLA, it's a corporation. What you've done is you've registered your car with DVLA, handed over ownership. They own it now. They own your car. You're given a license plate. I mean, they tell you this in the language, right? Remember, it's called a license plate for a reason. What does license plate mean? License means asking permission, doesn't it? So I've got a license plate, so I'm asking permission to drive the car. What if it's my car? Why am I asking permission? It's because it's not my car anymore. It's the government's. And now I've got to ask permission to drive it. Got a license plate. Pulls me into their jurisdiction. Now I need a driver's license because I have to have permission to drive government property. Now that I'm driving government property, guess what? I am now liable for ULEZ. I'm now liable for the 20-mile-an-hour speed limits and the 15-minute cities and all the rest of it that comes along with it. It's all corporate. So going back to the birth certificate is in fact legal tender. Okay. Now, legal tender, we do not use money in this country, or any country uses money. It's promissory notes, promise to pay. In fact, if you take one of these, and it'll actually literally say on there, promise to pay. It's in very, very small lettering, so people don't notice it, but it is promissory note. And it says £5. You go, well, £5 of what? Well, it used to refer to £5 of sterling silver, still called sterling pound today. So that used to represent £5 of silver. That's what it used to. But they've taken the silver away. So you go, okay, then what does it represent now? Well, it actually represents nothing at all. It's worthless. However, it is a debt. Okay, it is a debt. It's a promissory note, which means it's a debt. These are debt notes. And you are the creditor for this. And this is how the monetary system actually works. People don't know this. You probably heard of the national debt. Mm-hmm. Okay. And people go, well, what's the national debt? And people go, that debt is what the corporate government owes you. Okay. Yeah. So this is the way it works. Is when you're born, they create a certificate. There's a certificate of live birth, and then there's also your birth certificate, two separate documents. Your certificate of live birth is the one that is used to create the credit. You are the creditor. Your name is the creditor. Okay. Ah. And then the government uses your name as the creditor to create these notes. It's a bit more complicated than that. When you're born, your mother is tricked into giving you away. You are placed into trust, and then the government takes over and then sets up a trust for you. It's a foreign situs trust, and they use this trust to generate the credits. And everybody out there has a trust that's worth at least $100 million. This is how governments fund themselves. So they will fund themselves using your credit, which will then create a debt. This is the national debt. And then they will issue you with what is called a national insurance number. And you go, hang on a minute, what's a national insurance number? Well, national, that is referring to the corporation, okay? And the insurance, well, guess what? You've become the insurance for that corporation, national insurance number. Okay, and that's what you've got. And that national insurance number is basically a bank account. And what you are doing when you pay your tax, you're actually paying the interest on this debt. You're servicing the debt, although you are the creditor. Okay? So this is how the world's monetary system works. Now, it gets worse than this, because the government is desperate to get rid of this debt. So what they tend to do is they try and sell it. So they'll sell it on the debt market, and you'll get utility companies that buy this debt. So you go, okay, well, what's going on here then? Well, a utility company doesn't actually sell you gas or electricity. No, it sells you debt. And you'll look them up, and they are actually registered as credit brokers. So what's going on? Well, the government, which is a corporation, uses your credit to create the electricity, to create the gas and all the rest of it. You've paid for it. You're the creditor. That's created the debt. The government doesn't want to pay that, so the government pays it to utility companies, and then they sell it to you and trick you into buying back your own debt. That's how the system works. You think you're buying gas and electricity, but you're not. You're actually paying off your own debt. You've become the creditor and the debtor. And it gets worse than this. So, everyone's insurance is going up.
Oh, yeah.
And everyone's, I can't afford my insurance. Car insurance is going up. Guess what? You self-insure and you don't even know it. This is how insurance works. So you go to an insurance company, you say, I need 12-month policy, and the insurance company goes, oh, okay, not a problem. They give you a quote. You're not buying insurance. What you're actually doing is you're paying them to facilitate the credit from your foreign situs trust that was set up when you were born. And how does this work? Well, what they do, they create a bond in your name. This bond is worth something around $4 million. This insurance company holds onto this bond for 12 months. And if you have an accident, that bond, which you created, it's in your name, pays for the damages, pays for all the administration costs. Oh, yeah, you self-insure. Now, here's the thing they're not telling you is after that 12 months, you're supposed to get that back. Because if you didn't crash, you turn around and say, well, can I have me $4 million back, please? Because can I have my bond back, please? Thank you very much. And you can have your bond back. Because no one knows about this, no one asks for it back. So what does the insurance companies do? Hold on to it for 3 years. And because you didn't claim it, they sell it on the debt market. They're making billions and trillions out of you. And this is why it's called repayments, by the way, because you're paying twice. So that's just a very brief overview of how the financial system actually works. And by the way, I've done a video on my YouTube channel called The Real Sovereign Project. There's a 22-minute animation video, shows you how it actually works. It goes through it all. But that is a brief overview.
Excellent, Pete. Now that's perfect. That's exactly what we wanted in limited time, is an
Sure.
overview to whet people's appetite.
Yes.
I know you're specifically referring there to specific instruments, and I'm sure that they're real. Now, it's so outlandish to the average person. It sounds
yes.
like that animated video will be really useful, and they can visually see. I guess it's like the secret history of money. It really shows you, so you can understand it.
Correct.
Excellent.
Here's the thing. Don't trust what I'm saying. Go and look it up. So, for example, if you've never heard of what a Dunn's number is, go and look it up. You'll find it. Dun and Bradstreet. Okay. Now, here's the thing, right? We've done some homework for people. We've got what we call the Sovereign Wiki. And this is free information. Everyone can use it. There's templates on there. There's remedies on there. There's a page on there, and it's called Council Dun numbers. So if you want to look up your council's Dunn's number, we've done it for you. It's on the page, and then you can look it up. Now, going into the going into the birth certificate, there are websites out there, although it is becoming more difficult because some of these websites are being shut down, where you can put in your details and your birth certificate, and it will show you how many times you've been traded. Now, we've got members. I haven't done it myself because I thought I'd get too angry if I actually find out the actual true value. So I've decided not to, just because of that. But we've had some other members within the Sovereign Project, and they've done it, and they've been traded hundreds of thousands of times. So this is not conspiracy theory anymore. Okay, look, go and look at the note. And this can any country, it doesn't have to be England, UK, whatever, America. America, they even call it a bill, dollar bill. Yeah. And I hope that you don't realize. Yeah, it's a bill. You're swapping bills. It's an IOU. It's a debt. Dollar bill. So go and look at this. It literally says promise to pay. There's a promise to pay the bearer the sum off. Okay, there's a date on there. There's a signature on there. This is a promise on it. Go and learn what a promissory note is. Okay, go and learn how government bonds work. Go and learn how stock markets work, how derivatives work. That's an eye-opener.
Ooh, derivatives. Oh my God. Now you're into the belly of the beast. You know what we'll do though, to wrap it up is, again, you can't summarize the complexity of this, but the flavor of the kind of things people can use this insight and knowledge for. Some of the practical things you might do to slightly disentangle yourself from the system, or maybe get some benefits.
Yes. Now, what we've got to try and do is got to learn the difference between private and public, and we have to learn the difference between lawful and legal. So even the average person out there does not even know what legal means, and they're running around saying you can't do that because it's illegal. Legal means contract. So for me to do something illegal means I have to have agreed to the contract with that policy written within it. Now, if I haven't signed anything, then it's not illegal for me to do it. So it's like you, Les. Where's the contract? Where's the contract that I signed agreeing to you, Les? There isn't one. Although they do trick you. They trick you by making you give your car away and hand it over to the DVLA. I mean, people need to look into the manufacturer statement of origin that is attached to your car and the certificate of conformity. People are learning about certificate of conformity because of the ULEZ. So that's a good sign. Okay, the next step is go and look at your manufacturer statement of origin. You don't have it. See, every car that's built and made, when it leaves the factory, there's what is called a manufacturer statement of origin. This is like the deed to the car. It's worth the same as the car. So if you bought a Lamborghini for 250,000, there's also a manufacturer statement of origin, a piece of paper worth 250,000. Now, you're supposed to keep that because that's proof that you own the car, but you don't know this. So what happens is you go to the dealer and the dealer goes, would you like us to register your car? And you go, okay, because you don't know what you're doing. Because you went to state school and they dumbed you down.
Yeah.
So you go, okay. And then that manufacturer statement of origin goes to the government and they sell it.
But in fairness, and we'll close on this, and I'll put the link below,
Sure.
and I'll put it on the screen where people can explore this further because it's fascinating. But I'm guessing it's not trivial or easy to say, no, actually, I'll take care of registration and just give me the deed of ownership. I'm a legal person. I look after that myself. Will they go, well, we can't really do that.
Yes.
What would happen?
Correct. And this is where your mindset has to be correct. If you've got the sovereign mindset, you won't allow them to tell you how it works. You're the sovereign. I'll tell them how it works. If I've just spent £250,000 on a Lamborghini, I better have that manufacturer statement of origin. So this is where people have got to wake up because most people are trapped in a box. Their mind is trapped in a box.
But let's say I was sovereign-minded and I fully researched this and I was very confident, understood it. I guess I could demand it. Yes. Do you think at some point they would try and dissuade you, and at some point they'd kind of tell you, we can't? I mean, where would it go to? Could it go to them saying, well, okay then, you bastard, and just give it to you? Or would they just say, we can't give this? That's not how it works, and refuse? What do you think?
Oh, they can't refuse. Can't refuse.
They can't refuse. So you're saying they probably would, bite their lip and just have to give it to you.
Yes, they have to.
That's nice.
They have to. Now, I know we're running out of time, but you've got to understand the 12 hidden rules of commerce. And within their legal system, there is no involuntary servitude, no force. You cannot, in their system, you've got to consent. You probably heard politicians say, we govern through consent. Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Puppetitions.
Puppetitions, yes. I'm with you on that. It's all done through consent. So they can't force you ever. It's just that most people give in because they can bluff you.
Yeah.
But if you keep strong, they'll have to give in. They've got to relent.
Back off. And I did hear about an Irish guy related to this conversation, and it was kept very quiet. They couldn't get him to sign an NDA, but he was driving in some manner, and he used this kind of logic and legal stuff to not pay tax or not pay whatever. Correct. And in the end, they quietly backed off from him.
Oh, yes.
And I know that from a good source. Now, he is so rare, and I'm sure if more did it, they would find some way to bring in the boots on the ground in the military or some other crazy stuff. But for the moment, people who do it might kind of get away with it. But if it got bigger, then they'd have to sit in their elite circles and start brainstorming what to do.
They've got absolutely right. They've got a major problem. Major problem. This is literally we've all seen Star Wars, yeah, where Luke Skywalker is going after the Death Star and all the rest of it, and he's just going for that little exhaust port. This is the exhaust port. to the Death Star.
So, so I'll put this on YouTube, and it doesn't go against any guidelines
Shouldn't
in
do.
any way. And yet, I suspect maybe the algorithm may not be happy with what it senses in this
Probably
conversation.
not.
Listen, that's perfect, Pete. I tell you what, that's a great intro. Whets the appetite extraordinaire. And the links down below for people to see 22-minute video. And you also mentioned another resource. I'll also put that down there.
Yes.
And let's get people looking into stuff.
Yeah, learn this stuff. We're here to help.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Pete.
No, nice one. No worries.
Cheers. We'll circle back later and maybe more detail.
Yeah, we'll do another one when we've both got time. I know we're both busy, but we're doing our best.
All good, man. Good luck now. Have a great one. Bye now.
Well, that'll do it, folks. I hope you enjoyed that and hope you look into it further. And as I often mention, you know, I have a relationship with a superb company in real silver and gold in the UK, Pure Gold. And there is a link below. I'm linked into them. Disclosure, but it does give you a free consultation and general advice from a broker, not just on metals, but in general, your personal finances, pension, etc. And they'll fill you in on the importance of physical gold as a portion of your portfolio. I think it's really important for sovereignty, and with everything that's going on in the world and the instability of the markets, the currencies, the fiat currencies, we got a real problem coming down the tracks, almost certainly. So a proportion or a percentage in physical gold in your possession or in Pure Gold's vaults, they service America and all over the West with vaults or sending secure delivery to you. I think you should really start looking into this. It's totally your decision. Obviously, you need to research fully, but I've given summaries before on the importance of physical gold as a portion. So don't get left behind, I would suggest. So till next time, folks.